So I realized that it's something that I could do, but of course, I wasn't a vegan at that point. It's after
Okay.
in 2000, the end of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from before that, like I always said that my body or was talking to me. I think my body was talking to me. And for a while, I've been saying one day, I'm going to be
One.
vegan. I know for sure I'm going to be vegan, right? So what I did was
Okay.
I started with increments. Years ago, the first thing I did
Mm-hmm.
was cut sugar out of my diet. That was the first thing I did. That's not a vegan step, but that's a health step. Because
Okay.
sugar is a plant base, it's from cane. So as I was saying
But it gets
before that, but it's vegan, right?
yeah.
So that would be for the vegan who is in it for animal cruelty purposes. But for me, as a plant-based, health-wise vegan, I
Yeah.
removed sugar, soda, that kind of thing. I didn't put sugar in my tea or any of those things. So that was really the first step I
Step for
made
you.
into being health conscious.
Okay.
Another thing, so that was one of the things I did. When I decided that I wanted to be vegan, though, what I did was I started in increments because I was not going to set up myself to fail.
Yeah. To just
First, I
come off and
started with one day a week where I was not eating meat. Then I did that for a little. Then I moved it to 2 days a week. Then three,
mm-hmm.
then four, then five, till I was only eating meat on weekends
Okay.
until I was not eating meat at all.
At
So
all.
that's the journey that I went on. I did it in increments and I found
Yeah.
I find that it is better to do it that
That
way. But
way.
if you feel that you can go bam and
Mm-hmm.
not do it, then kudos to you. But that's the journey that I went on.
That went
I
on.
did it for health reasons, and health is important to me for a lot of reasons. But one is that my family has a history of
Okay.
diabetes, um, high blood sugar, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say it is genetics because, and the
No.
reason I would say that I it could simply be that they have a history of it because they have the same lifestyle, they're eating the same
Yes.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and my father actually passed away. He had diabetes, and after having diabetes, he had a blow. He got low blood sugar level. He got a stroke, and
Okay.
that was basically his story. So my
Yeah.
my thing is, I saw what he had to go through. I saw that he was bedridden for 10 years, and I decided that
Mm-hmm.
this is not the life that I want for myself. I want to do I want to eat healthy now. So any illness, less if knock on wood, any illness that
Yeah.
happens to me, it would not be as a result of one that I caused on myself, at least
Yes.
not
What you
intentionally.
have control of. Yes.
Right. So I do what I have control of, which is to fuel my body in the right way. Anything that happens, it must be an act of nature that I did not have control over.
I must say, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. I don't know how long this was ago, but I empathize with you. And I appreciate the way that you went about doing it. So you start yourself off in little bits until you got to there gradually. I see Shireen from 876 Fab joining, and she just said, she's thinking about the vegan way, but she don't know how to start. But
Start, just
you might
start. You can
that
start the
part.
same way I did. One day a week, you don't eat meat, and then you move it until you find that you're able to do it. But one thing I must say, even when you have come to the point where you no longer feel for meat, you're strong enough not to do with to have meat. I just want you to
Mm-hmm.
understand. Big up my friend Sherry. Sorry, I have to stop to big up my friend, my sister Sherry.
Okay.
So right. So even when you're at a point when you no longer eat meat, Don't believe that 1 month down the line, you're not going to see something and you're going to want it. If you so happen to take a piece of a fish or a piece of something, do not use that as an excuse to continue to do it. You made a mistake, just pick up where you left off. Nobody say, oh, I don't take a piece of this, let me take another piece. Let me do this, let me do that. Being a vegan or eating a certain way and this kind of lifestyle, it is not a religion. It's not a sin. Right?
No,
so
it's a choice.
Leave off. Yeah, so you don't feel bad about it. Yeah, you do something you never want to eat the piece there. All right, you eat it. Okay, next meal I'm eating is a healthy one. Simple.
Yeah.
So just pick up where you leave off and don't use it as an example, as an excuse, sorry, to say, all right, I don't eat this already. This vegan thing not gonna work, so let me just eat all the food in the house. So yeah, I love what Nat Box is saying. She said, and it's true, a lot of people give an excuse about healthy food expensive. But yes, the hospital bill is really expensive as well. So be more proactive than reactive. So and if you it depends on where you live, I must say, but also if you and what you eat. But the market is a good place to shop and it's reasonable. So that excuse really about, it's just that you have
being expensive.
You just have to decide if it's worth it. And trust me, it's worth it to live healthy and to be healthy.
And I think food prepping is an important thing to do too. So you write down your list of, what you think you might eat this week and you gather your ingredients so you know that you have it. Because being a vegan, certain things that you need to eat for nutrition reasons too, so you get everything that you're getting might not be easily ready, available, and you might have to store some.
You know what is a myth? You know what is a myth? Let me tell you what is a myth, right? A lot of people love to ask the question. This is one of the questions that most vegans get the most, and that where you get your protein from? Well, let me answer. You get the protein from the same place where the animals that you're eating get them protein from, right? You get it from plants. That's where the animals get their protein from. So why wouldn't you not prefer to get the primary source of the protein rather than eating something that ate the primary source?
Somewhere else.
Are created, are made by plants actually. So that's really a myth that it's
where you get it from.
Not where you get any proteins. You can get your protein from beans, seeds, vegetables, things like kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas, black beans.
Yeah, I love chickpeas.
Pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, quinoa, spirulina, broccoli, just to name a few of the things that you get. That's the primary source. That's the plants make protein, right?
Yeah.
So let's dispel that myth, right? We have more protein than you, right?
I'm happy you highlighted that, and it's a big myth for truth, and a lot of people don't realize. And I think sometimes it's based on how our minds were trained growing up. You live in a household that is all about meat, and no one takes the time to really understand the value of what we get from our plant sources and our fruits and so on. So
and it's not only about ignorance, because it is you don't know, but it's not only about ignorance. Not saying that it isn't about ignorance, you don't know, but it's also about excuses, because you don't want to be vegan, you come with all the reasons why, where am I get the protein from, where am I get this from, where am I get that from? Because you really don't want to do it from too nice, right? The upsale just too nice, right? The fried chicken just too nice, right?
Yes. Okay, so that into, you mentioned a list of foods or beans just now. Since becoming a vegan, since transforming and taking on a plant-based vegan diet, what foods have you come across that you would recommend to others to make it a part of their diet?
All right. If you let me, all right. For me, I haven't for the past couple of weeks. I haven't been able to go to the market. But for me, I'm a fruitarian, right? It don't mean that I only eat fruits, but I would eat mostly fruit. So for me, I just love fruit. So I'd say write down a list of all the fruits you love, and you will realize that you have more to eat than if you were, because most of you just eating chicken alone, for most of the time. So maybe chicken, fish, and something. You have maybe 3 things you eat on a normal basis. Maybe only when a holiday come, for those who celebrate Thanksgiving, you have more than 3 meats. Or if you celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa, you have more than whatever meat. But for the most people, probably just eat chicken every day, or maybe 3 meats every day. No, there is a whole variety of fruits and vegetables. No. So that there is nothing to eat. The second thing is, me not really cooking up. So somebody else's journey may be different from mine. So because I don't really cook, I would say I could give suggestions of where I go to get my stuff made sometimes, when I'm not right. So for the most part, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, which I get at the market. But when I actually order food, I would, if you're in Jamaica, if you're ever in Jamaica, I would suggest maybe Chef in Don, Me Hungry, Veggie Campus, 100 have a nice little 3 bean stew when I find out about recently when my friend Sherry came to Jamaica. And there are others, but they're not really paying me to do this. So let me
But thanks for letting us know, because when I come to Jamaica, for sure I'll be asking you to share with me again if I don't remember.
I have a list. Yeah, of
places I definitely coming out with you on yard trends if you'll have me, because I need to eat some vegan food.
No problem.
And to wrap this segment up, you already answered one of my questions about the whole thing about protein, and you dispelled that myth. Sorry. So one last question, 2 parts. When you're around people who are eating meat, do you get tempted, as well as do you miss meat?
All right, let's talk about that. All right. Maybe in the initial stages, I would get tempted because, and this is the reason, because I am someone who, as I said before, if what is in front of me and what is provided is, I won't go searching for what is not provided per se. So for example, if there's only vegan food around, I would, even if I'm not a vegan at the time, I would eat vegan because that's all that was around. But the issue that I had initially was that when I went on the road, whether for work or otherwise, people would not, I don't want to use the word respect the fact that I'm a vegan, but maybe it's just that they don't understand. Or, say, listen, it's just one, like on the show, The Temptation, but it's just one, and it's just one time. You can eat it this one time, So if there is no food provided for me, but if there's if there were no food provided for me, that would be the only real temptation. But I had to get stern, I had to get resolute, and I had to say, this is how I am living, and you need to provide this. If you're not providing this, then another thing is you have to bring your own food, because if you're on this lifestyle that nobody else is on, then you have to also prepare your own stuff. But let's
Yeah.
say you didn't prepare your stuff. You have to be resolute. You have to let people know that this is what I'm on, and they have to support you on this journey, right?
That's
Um,
true.
so
And
that
I
is the
find that,
initial stages. There was
mhm,
the temptation, just to answer your question. But no, and afterwards, it's nothing to me. You can eat. In fact, my sense of smell has gotten even, I would say, greater towards meat. So now meat, even when the meat is cooked, it smells raw to me. Um,
okay,
so yeah, it smells raw to me. So I'm not. I don't even want it anyway. But yeah,
okay. So
so that
initially, but then over time,
over time, not saying that he does the things that whatever, but it's not enough to get me to
to
move.
have
So
a
to
taste.
answer your question about if I
Yes.
miss meat, that is like asking me if I miss my ex, if my ex man. Right? I answer that way because I know that can lead into the next to the
Clear up
next
the night.
topic, right? So that is asking me. I love this journey that I'm on. It makes me feel better. I feel
Yes.
I feel better. So not to say that there are not instances, but I used to love oxtail. Like I used to love oxtail and fish but I really prefer this life. It has an
Okay.
effect on my body. I don't have to think about, Lord, if I eat too much of it. No, I just eat. And I just eat, right? Even though if you eat
Yes.
too much of anything, it's not good for you. But because me know
Hmm.
if me I eat plant-based, whatever, I'd
Yes.
rather make a mistake that way
Yes.
and
And
than
there are things that you can still do, like even chickpea. I like chickpea. You can still curry it. So you
yeah,
can still
man.
have curry in your
You
meal and
have a
and
replacement for
pure
everything.
beans.
I was
Yes.
reading that for butter, you can replace avocado or what we call pear in Jamaica.
Yes.
Um, for egg,
And
I
that's filled
think
with omega-3. That's very good, yeah?
for the egg is what was the egg again? I don't remember right now. But you really have replacements for
For different.
plant-based replacements for all the things that people claim to love and can't do without.
Yeah. So guys, if you're thinking of having a vegan lifestyle or changing your diet for whatever reason, health, be it that you don't believe in, animals being killed for food or whatever the reason, and you choose that lifestyle, one of the important things I learned from Stasia just now is that having a strategy about how you go about doing it is important. So you make a decision, you can take step by steps. By one day out of the week, every week, you're totally eating just that one thing. And then you go 2 days, 3 days, and so on until gradually you can completely get off meat if that is what you intend to do. But Stasia, thank you so much for sharing.
There are other strategies,
Remember,
there are other
of
strategies.
course, definitely, there are other
Just going
strategies.
through just a few, not a lot. One,
Yes,
you need to probably surround yourself, have an accountability group or
our
people
partner,
who
yeah.
are on the same mission as you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. I also unfollowed when I was just starting, I unfollowed all the food pages, like all
Oh
the
my
chefs
God.
and all of that. I unfollowed all of them and followed vegan pages so that I was filling my mind with more of the things that I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve, as
Yes,
opposed to putting temptation right in front
in
of me
front
on
of
a daily
yourself.
basis, right?
I
So
get what you
those
mean.
are other things that you can do as well.
All right. And guys, remember to go over to Stasia's page at Stasia Davidson. That's her handle on Instagram. I just recently saw her before and after picture. The same thing she mentioned to us initially about, being vulnerable with our audience and showing them things that they can respond to. She's doing it on her page. And there's a lot of leaves that I'm going to be taking out of her book. And Stasia, I must commend you on starting that vegan journey and sticking with it. And I absolutely saw your photo and saw the progress that you've made in it's about 2-3 years now.
Yes, because I
28,
started January 2019. I know it's past January 2021. So about 2 years.
yes.
More early.
All right. Great.